This is Geometry Module 1, Lesson 8. Riley's sick today, so I'm recording another lesson. Today is Friday, October 26th, which means we have a very short day. I want to start by going over the homework. So for number 1, I draw an auxiliary line. This angle is 310, which means this interior angle right here is going to be 360 minus that, so that's how you get 50 degrees for this whole angle here. If that whole angle is 50 degrees, that means this angle right here is A, because of alternate interior angles. So alternate interior is one of the reasons, and I need to figure out what this angle is here to use alternate interior here, but I don't know that angle, so again I have to do another auxiliary line right here. If this is 110 right here, then this is going to be 180 minus 110, which is going to be 70. If this angle is 70, that means that this angle adds up to 10 because both have to add up to 80. If this angle is 10, that means this angle is also 10. And now we know that 10 plus A is equal to 50, therefore A is equal to 40 degrees. For number 2, I know that I have a Z here. Whenever I have a Z, and the insides of the Z are the same, which means C is equal to 46 degrees by alternate interior angles. Oh, and I forgot that one of the reasons that we knew that this one was the same was because of same side interior, SSI. Same side interior was how to get from 110 to 70. For measure angle B, I have to do 180 minus 94 to get this inside angle here. So that's going to be 86, and I know what C is. C is 46. I add these together and I get 132. I know that B has to be a number that makes 132 add to 180, so I know that B has to be 48 degrees. That's because there are 180 degrees in a triangle. For number 3, I know that 122, I guess I should draw my Z. So my Z looks like this. So the inside parts of my Z look like this. This whole angle D plus 72, which means I know that D plus 72 is going to equal to 122, and from that I can tell you that, let's go ahead and get rid of this, I can tell you that D is equal to 50 degrees. And then if I know D, here's my next Z. The inside parts of the Z here are equal, which means D is equal to E, which means E is also 50 degrees. These are both, I cannot draw my, these are both by alternate interior. Alright, and finally, to do number 4, I know that these are same side interior, so SSI, same side interior. So I'm going to add these together and set it equal to 180. So 4x minus 2 plus 3x plus 7 is equal to 180 degrees, and that means 7x plus 5 is equal to 180, and that means 7x, if I subtract 5 from both sides, 7x is equal to 175, and that's going to be, so if I multiply by 20, then that's going to give me to 140 with a remainder of 35. So it's going to be 25. X is equal to 25. Okay, but that doesn't solve for F. F is going to be equal to this angle here. The reason being is these two angles are same side interior. These two angles are same side interior. So I could do 180 minus this angle to get here, and 180 minus this angle to get here, which is the same as just this angle. So if I plug in 25 to this angle, and that's going to be this angle, which is vertical angles with F. So SSI and vertical angle, I'm just going to do an angle like that. And if I plug in 25 into X, that's going to be 75 plus 7, 75 plus 7, and that's going to be 82 degrees. All right, today's lesson starts with an opening exercise right here, but I don't think we have enough time for that, so I'm going to go ahead and skip it. Let's just go straight to the vocab. The sum of 3 angle measures in any triangle is always 180 degrees. I think we already. This is trying to say the interior of a triangle, so go ahead and draw a picture for this one. This picture is going to look like this. this picture is going to say this red angle here, this red angle A is going to be equal to this yellow angle here, we're going to call this B, if we also add this black angle C plus C. So the name of this one is going to be the opposite, and I can't really fit it here, so I'm going to write underneath opposite interior. So these two angles add up to this angle, opposite interior. Another name for this is remote interior. Remote interior. It's just this fact that C plus B is equal to A. We also know this. We also know that the base of an an isosceles triangle are equal in measure. So the picture for this one looks like this. If this and this are the same, then that means that this angle and this angle are also the same. So that's what this fact is trying to state. And then each angle of an equilateral triangle, so it's our equilateral triangle, has angle 60. So if all three of these are equal, then that means that all of these are 60 degrees. Each of the yellow is 60 degrees, so we're at 60 degrees for those angles there. Alright, we're now into the problem set. Okay, so for number one, go ahead and try it out, and then when you're ready, unpause the video. Alright, so you've unpaused the video. Let's try to work on finding this unknown angle A. So I know that there are 180 degrees in the triangle, so I'm going to add 69 plus 58. So 69 plus 58 plus A is equal to 180 degrees. 59 plus 68 is 127 plus A is equal to 180. If I subtract 127 minus 127 from both sides, I know that A is equal to, or I guess I should say that the measure of angle A is equal to, it's going to be 53 degrees. Alright, to find the measure of angle B, there's two ways that I can do it. There's a long way and a shortcut way, and I just showed you the shortcut way right here. The long way of doing this is to find that this is 180 degrees. You could find this missing angle, then I would have this angle, and I can find this angle. But the shortcut way of doing it is knowing that this angle here, this would be the equivalent of the red angle A, is equal to this A and B up here. So A plus B is equal to 93. So I can say that 53, again that was our A, plus B is equal to 93. This is our shortcutting method now of doing this. Subtract 53 from both sides, and then B is equal to 40 degrees. I guess I should also change this to the measure of angle B is equal to 40 degrees. Cool. Again, go ahead and pause me now. Try number two by yourself. And you've unpaused me. We know that 42 plus A, these two interior, opposite interior angles are equal to 78. I can subtract 42 from both sides, minus 42 from both sides, and I get A is equal to 36 degrees. Go ahead and pause me. And you've unpaused me. So I know that these base angles are the same, and the reason is right up here. The base angles are the same of an isosceles triangle, so that means that this angle is 68 degrees, and I know that B is equal to these, the opposite interior. I keep forgetting the name of it. That means 68 plus 68 is equal to B, and that means I just have to add these two together. That's going to be 136 degrees. Pause me again. And now that you have unpaused me, to find C, we have this 90 degrees and 64 degrees, so C must add up to 180 degrees. So C plus 90 plus 64, all those should equal 180 degrees. That's going to be 154 is equal to 180. That's C. So subtract 154 from both sides, and you get C is equal to 26 degrees. And then from there, I can find D because I know that this angle here is going to be equal to this angle plus this angle. So the way that I say that is 95 is equal to D plus 64. Subtract 64 from both sides, and that's 31 degrees. Pause me again. For number 5, we know that these two angles add up to 180 because linear pairs are supplementary. And I should be doing reasons for the other ones. I'm going to go back and backfill those. Which means that this angle here is going to be 180 minus this is going to be 70, so 65 degrees, and that means I can find this angle right here because there are 180 degrees in a triangle. So that means I'm going to do 34 plus 65 to get 99, which means this angle here is 81 degrees. I did 180 minus 99, and from that I can figure out this angle right here. I can figure out this angle here using the same reason. This is going to now be 99, so this is going to be 99 degrees, and now I have this angle, and this angle to add to 180. So now I'm doing 129, subtracting that from 180, and I'm going to get here 51 degrees. Let's go ahead and backfill all of the reasons that we used up here. C, we use 180 degrees in a triangle. D, we use the fact that they were opposite interiors. B, opposite interiors. Should do little dots here. And opposite interiors. Alright, go ahead and pause me again so you can work on number 6. For number 6, we can move this 78 here because these are parallel lines. It's called corresponding angles. Corresponding angles are equal. So that means that this is 78 degrees right there. And then we have these opposite interior angles where 48 plus F is equal to 78. So that means F is going to be 30 degrees because I can subtract 48 from 78 because of opposite interior again. Go ahead, pause me, do number 7. For number 7, there are probably a few ways to solve it. The way that I saw it was by seeing that there was this Z here. So here's the Z, which means this angle and this angle are the same. If I find this angle, then this is going to be opposite interior. I'm using this rule, but first I need to find this angle. So let's go ahead and do that. This angle is going to be 86 degrees because linear pairs are supplementary. Linear pairs supplementary. I guess I just need one P. And then from that I know that this is 86 degrees because again it's the inside of that Z, which is alternate interior. Alternate interior. And then from there I know that G is equal to 86 plus 57. So 86 plus 57 is going to be 3, carry the 1, that's going to be 14, so 143 degrees. And that was because of the opposite interior. Alright, pause me and do number 8. Number 8 can be a little bit tricky, so maybe you just want a hint. Your hint would be to draw an auxiliary line that continues this line to make a triangle here. And to actually solve it, I want to find this angle, because if I have that angle, then this angle and this angle, 30 degrees, add up to 8, because that's going to be alternate interior. And how do I find this angle? Well, this angle is already an alternate interior with 72 and 25, so there's 2 alternate interior angles that I can do. So we did an auxiliary line. I'm just going to say aux line, just in case people need to look at this in the notes. And then we used opposite interior twice. So again, what does that look like? Opposite interior, 72 plus 25 equals this angle, which means that this angle, let me erase this a little bit, this angle here is going to be 97, just adding those two, and then h is equal to 97 plus 30, which is 127, so 127 degrees. Alright, pause me and then go work on number 9. Number 9 can be solved a few different ways. I think the easiest way to do it is by drawing an auxiliary line right here, and then you know that this is going to be same side interior, so I'm going to be using SSI, same side interior, which means it's going to be 180 minus 115 because they're supplementary, and that's going to be 8, 7, borrow 65 degrees right here. And then same thing, this is going to be, and by the way, this line that we assume is parallel to those two lines, this is also same side interior again, so 125 subtracted from 180, that's going to be 55 degrees. And then I know that all of this has 180 degrees, so that means that consecutive adjacent angles sum to 180 degrees. So adding all of those together, 55 plus 65, that's going to be the same thing as 60 plus 60, so that's 120 there, and then 120 subtracted from 180, that's going to be 60 degrees. Alright, pause me and do number 10. This one we need to solve for x to find this angle, and then we're going to do the fact that they're 180 degrees on a line, or that there are adjacent angles, linear pair, supplementary. Alright, so let's go ahead and set up our equation. So I know that 10x minus 20 is going to be equal to these two added up. 5x minus 3, that angle plus this angle right here, 4x minus 2. You don't need parentheses, I'm just doing that to show those two angles have to be equal to this one. The reason that we know that is because of opposite interior angles. Alright, then when I solve, this is going to be 9x minus 5 is equal to 10x minus 20. I'm going to subtract 9x from both sides, and I'm going to get x on the left minus 20 is equal to negative 5. And I'm going to add 20 to both sides. X is equal to 15. Okay, that's only half the battle. Now I need to plug that back in here. So it's going to be 150 minus 20, or this angle right here is 130. Then I do 180 minus 130, and the reason I'm using here is that linear pair is supplementary, and that's going to be 50 degrees. Alright, we're almost there. Go ahead and pause me and do number 11. Number 11 is going to heavily rely on isosceles triangles. So if I subtract 56 away from 180, then I'll know how much goes between here and here, and because this is an isosceles triangle, these two lengths are the same, I know that those two are the same angle. Okay, so if I do 180 minus 56, then I'm going to get, what is that going to be, 124. So that means these two angles add up to 124, but since they're the same, I can just divide this by 2 and get 62. So that means that this whole angle is 62, this whole angle is 62. And that seems like it doesn't really help us, but then I realize that this length and this length are the same, which means that this length is also 62 degrees. Well, now I can find this new angle, this actual angle K, because I have the supplementary angles, or not supplementary angles, I have these base angles for the isosceles. So if I add 62 and 62, I get 124, because that's what I should have had, and then I can do 180 minus the 124 to get back to K, because they're 180 degrees in a triangle. So the two rules I'm using here over and over is that base angles of I'm just going to abbreviate isosceles are equal, and we also use that they're 180 degrees in a triangle. So 180 degrees minus 124 is 56, which means K is 56 degrees. 56 degrees. So that's all of the lesson, and if you stuck around the video this long, I want to give you a few hints on the homework because some of them can be challenging. Number one, the big hint I'll give away is that this is a Z right here, so alternate interior angle. You can find this angle, which means you have this angle, which is equal to this angle plus this angle. The hint I'll give you for B is, again, it's alternate interior. Look right there. Inside parts of the Z, and again for 3 you have opposite interior, which means that this angle here, this angle in here is equal to this plus this. That's easy to set up, but you first need to find that angle, which you find from isosceles triangle, which is very similar to the work that we did from problem 11. Yeah, and that's this lesson. Thanks for watching.